You know, when I was in the cage, one of the only things that helped me keep my sanity was the books I read, and one of my favorites was The Recruit by Robert Muchmore. It was the first in the Cherub series, and it was a book that really got me into literature in the first place. It helped me escape the world I was in. I loved James. He was so relatable. I loved the twists and turns in the series, and I really felt like I grew up with the characters. Now, if you haven't read the books yourself, you're probably wondering, exactly what is Cherub? Well, in Robbie Wobby's own words, Cherub is a branch of British intelligence. Its agents are aged between 10 and 17 years. Cherubs are all orphans who have been taken out of care of homes and trained to work undercover. They live on Cherub Campus, a secret facility hidden in the English countryside. You may also be wondering, what use are kids? Well, quite a lot. Nobody realizes that kids do undercover missions, which means they can get away with all kinds of stuff that adults can't. I devoured the crap out of these books. It was my second biggest collection, right after my Spider-Man comics, and that's not even including my Henderson Boys and Rockwall collection. I would have loved to feature them here on my shelf of memorabilia, but unfortunately, all my books got water damaged. I had an awesome collection, and I just can't afford to get them all back. I would have loved it. But, fortunately, Divine Madness here is my favourite one. Or at least one of them, so at least I was able to salvage this one.
Yeah!
So why are we talking about Cherub today? Well, on Wednesday, I got an amazing email by Robert Muchmore's website. So, let's have a look at it, eh? Sony Pictures Television and Komixx Entertainment have announced a deal to work together on making a 10-part Cherub TV series. Sony are one of the world's largest producers of TV shows, with a slate of award-winning shows including The Crown, Breaking Bad, and Robot Chicken. Robert Muchmore gave us his thoughts on the development. Of course, I won't try to imitate his voice. Obviously, having a giant company like Sony getting behind the Cherub TV project is great news and makes the show much more likely to happen. Before fans get wildly excited, it's worth remembering that even big studios like Sony work on many projects that don't come to fruition, and we are still at an early stage in development. I'm cautiously optimistic and hopefully we'll have lots more news on the project before the end of 2018. But it's early days, don't start asking me whether the show is going to be broadcast or if you can play James just yet. Damn it! Oh well. Now Robert tweeted that he still reckons it's about 2 years away, but that doesn't mean we can't speculate and gush over this great new development. Oh, and while we're talking about Robert's Twitter, it seems like he might even be watching this video, so with that in mind, hey Mr. Robert Muchmore, storyteller sir, huge fan. Just wanted to ask, if it's at all possible, when the show gets greenlit, could I get a cameo? Like, maybe I can be somewhere in the background, maybe in Lauren's room or something. I can just be like this. Or like this. Something like that. I think I'll do great.
Yeah!
Anywho, let's talk a little bit about the show and what we really want to see. I want to know what you guys think as well, so put down in the comment section below what you guys really want to expect from the show. I personally really want to see Nelson McCormick direct this because of his great work in Netflix and House and Prison Break, and really because I love Maximum Security and I think he would adapt it really well. Of course, season 1 I reckon should only be an adaptation of the first book, The Recruit, so they can start off on baby steps. The biggest war among fans will probably be who should play James. I think my first vote would be Finn Wolfhard. I know you're going to be like, oh, but he's not British, but you know what? If you Brits can steal Superman off the Yankees, then the Canadians can steal James, so suck it. Just kidding. I really don't know who should play James, but he needs to be a good actor, and I really think Sony should try to get as much star power as possible to help the show get a nice boost, and introduce more people who haven't read the book as well. I really want to see Michael Caine and Hugh Laurie play major roles in the series. I think that would be really cool. I want to see Nicholas Hamilton play a role because of how good he was in it. And maybe he could play Greg Jennings or something like that. He really has the look of a bully. I really also want to say that if we want to think long term, we want actors that are going to be young enough to play the roles for a few years, and that might be a little bit tricky, but I'm sure we'll be able to figure that out in time. Anywho, those are some of my thoughts, and I really want to know what you guys think. One of the questions I want to ask you guys is, please tell me, which book do you guys most want to see adapted? For me, it would personally be The Recruit, but I love Divine Madness, and I definitely love Maximum Security. It has been so many years that we've been hoping for a series, and it's so great to finally see it. Mr. Muchmore, thank you so much for watching this, if you are. I'm a huge fan and really, really appreciate all the years that you wrote your books. It helped me through my childhood. And yeah, I am Plushy, the canine identified wolf. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, put the notifications on, stay with me cause I will be covering more Cherub news in the future. And remember, I'm on Twitter, you can follow my Patreon and support me there so I can get more equipment. And I will see you all very, very soon.
Yeah, right.
Have a good one, mates. Ugh. And then we find out the show's been canned.
Yeah.